Many of you have heard over the last recent days about a megastorm that could devastate California. And they're talking about a major flood that could possibly hit. Now, do you think California would be prepared? Because, let's face it, over even this last decade, America has showed she is not prepared for anything. America's not prepared for hurricanes, not prepared for floods, not prepared for heat waves, not prepared for illnesses, pandemics. America doesn't seem to be ready for anything. Totally unprepared every single time. So there's one city manager that is talking about the mega storms that could potentially hit California at any moment and very concerned about the devastation it will cause to their community. I'm going to go ahead and play this audio from NPR.
Climate scientists are adding a new catastrophe to the list of natural disasters for Californians to worry about. More frequent megastorms. They happen when huge plumes of water vapor form over the Pacific and reach land, where they dump rain and snow for weeks at a time. Megastorms used to occur only every 1 to 200 years, but with climate change, UCLA researchers say to expect one as often as every 50 years. The city of Firebaugh in California's Central Valley is especially vulnerable.
We sit right next to the San Joaquin River. Beautiful place to raise a family. Very quiet. Everybody knows everybody. Love it here.
Ben Gallegos is the city manager and a longtime resident of Firebaugh. He says a megastorm could devastate the community he loves.
A lot of water, flooding for many days. Potential hazard to, really wiping out the city.
So what are you doing right now?
Right now, what we're doing, we went after a planning grant, which we're successful in getting. So it does a study of the levees and how we can build them, what height they have to be, what they need to be made of.
Are you getting what you need from the state and from the county? I mean, you're a small town.
Well, we did get the funding to do the study, which was great. That was about between $400,000 and $500,000 for just the study. They're putting all that study together right now as we speak, so we can get it ready to go after funding for construction. It's nice to have a river right next to your city, but when they rise up, it's a potential hazard for your community also. We have a walking trail right next to it, which is beautiful. People enjoy going fishing, swimming. It's a nice thing to have, but when you have the flooding, it's not a very nice thing to have, especially if you don't have the protection from it.
And with climate change, this is only going to get worse. And that's what this research shows, that the possibility of a megastorm is because of climate change. It just feels kind of like a massive task to try to protect your town.
It does, because we're a small community. And I always think about, you think about San Francisco, Los Angeles. Is the state really going to say, or the feds, let me give Firebaugh $50 to $60 million to upgrade their levees, or should we give it to somebody else? Are we going to make an impact? They say, if we lose that town, what impact is going to have to the state? Well, it's going to have a lot of impact to the state. We're a farming community. We have a lot of the industrial. We have a tomato facility here that supplies a lot of tomatoes and sauces to a lot of industrial and restaurants users. Cantaloupe, tomatoes for market. So it does have an impact in small communities and the whole economic of California, or even the whole United States.
How do you balance the need to prepare for other extreme events? I mean, California, you think of droughts, wildfires, flooding, and now megastorms?
A lot of people ask me that question. They said, like, okay, you're thinking about upgrading the levees and all that, but we're in a drought. Yes, we are. We are in a drought.
Yeah.
But this has happened in the past. Like we're talking about this megastorm, this is going to happen again, and we need to get ready.
Are residents concerned?
Yes, they are. I mean, back in, I want to say '97, they evacuated the city, and the city wasn't prepared at that time for the evacuation. They evacuated all the residents to our community center. the community center was right next to the river. So there was a levee that was washing out. So they went and sent them out to our neighboring cities. Those cities were not ready for our residents. So they had to get them back. And then they put them up in a warehouse just west of the city. Yes, has some of these residents gone through the flooding before and evacuation? Yes, we have. They're very familiar with what might happen here in our city.
Now, earlier you said to me when you first heard what a megastorm was, you thought, wow, we'll be wiped out. Is that hyperbole, or really you think Firebaugh would be wiped out?
I think Firebaugh would be wiped out.
Do you have a message for national leaders, for state leaders, about the importance of tackling climate change given what's at stake for your city?
Yes, we need help. I always tell our leaders we can fix it now, which would cost less than when we have an emergency and then we're getting all the resources and you have people trying to fix it, which would cost a lot more than being proactive and fix it now.
Ben Gallegos, the city manager of Firebaugh, California. Thank you so much for your time.
Thank you.
Ladies and
And
gentlemen,
now, more
oh,
from climate
all
scientists
right,
are.
let me just turn that off. Ladies and gentlemen, they're saying that this disaster, if it's just a matter of when it will hit, because they know it's coming. They know it is. That the damage will be in the trillions. And let me tell you something, ladies and gentlemen. Many of these communities will never be built back. They won't. They're going to be left in devastation, just like many of the communities have been left that way during other disasters. They're not going to rebuild this stuff. They'll say all that stuff, but at the end of the day, most people, if you're talking about something that devastating, they're just going to have to relocate and go elsewhere. You just, America is just not good at handling any kind of disaster. And we have seen this way too many times. And it is not, and this place is huge. It's huge in comparison to other parts of the country that have been hit with disasters. I mean, you see the fires are still going. This will be just one too many things to occur in a year for America. But y'all have to tell me what you think about this one. Some of these places are admitting if these things occur, they are not ready. And I believe that. But please tell me what you think about this whole thing. Please leave your comment and subscribe. Don't forget to hit on the notification bell, and I'll see you on the next video. Peace, family.